like, we don't own people. And I get bro code and girl code, and that's something that you set for yourself. That's your own moral. Like, okay, for me, my peace of mind, like, I just don't want to do that. But there's no rules in life that say you can't date someone that your friend.
This is a bro code.
No, it's not. They don't own people. Like, people are allowed to move on with their lives and date who they want to date. Now you can decide for yourself.
You can do what you want to do, but don't act like there's no like moral compass here.
It's not.
So you're telling me
it's not
if we divorce, I can be with Shayla.
You could. I mean, does it stop me from being mad?
But why would you be mad?
I would be mad just because it's my friend. But listen, I don't own you and I don't own her, and I don't control who you get to fall in love with.
You can't do anything about it, but there's still a moral compass. And what I mean by that is, like, yes, technically I'm free. I can do what I want to do, but that doesn't mean that there isn't inherently some like character stuff here. Like, yeah, I can go right now, purchase a gun, go to the bank and rob it.
But is it like
I'm free, but that doesn't make it right.
Is that your character? Because
to rob a bank?
No, I'm talking about to date someone.
If I am with someone and I don't respect the sensitivity of relationship, like if you have a best friend, so like, yeah, you don't own your best friend. I don't.
So you used to date my best friend, so we shouldn't be together.
All I want is you, baby. All I want, all I want, all I want is you, baby. More than I need, what you want, girl, is yours. Give me your feelings, I just can't ignore. 'Cause all I want is you, baby.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Russell the Fourth.
Hey everybody, it is me, Brandy.
And welcome to another episode of the What They Never Told Us podcast. We are back like we never left.
You wasn't gonna let me finish my sentence?
I was anxious, I ain't gonna lie. You see, I was and welcome.
Jeez.
What's going on, y'all? Happy Tuesday, which is when you're listening to this. Right now, it's our Sunday. It is late, so we tired, but we pushing through for the What They Never Told Us fam.
Of course, I'm ready to get started. This is an episode that we've been waiting on for a little bit. It's always one of the more fun episodes of the season, Ask R&B. So I'm excited about this. But
me too.
I ain't gonna happen because I had a long day.
My day hasn't been that long. Well, it feels like it's been long because I've just been in the house with the baby all day.
Stop calling her a baby. We gotta stop calling her a baby.
She's the baby of the family, and she's always gonna be the baby. She's gonna be 20, and she's gonna be the baby. But I've been watching this show on Netflix called 4 Seasons.
I told you it was good.
Yeah, I was late to it. And I'm mad you watched it without me, which is crazy how you just took liberties like that, because that's wild. You know, I thought there was.
We don't watch every show together.
Yeah, but there's usually this like evaluation period. It's like, hey, yo, there's this thing. Like, there's some things that are so far off the interest of the other one that's like, okay, clearly we won't watch this together. Like, I don't hit you up for like, yo, Star Wars. We ain't watching Andor and Mandalorian together. But this falls in line with the stuff that I would like.
But we did watch the little trailer together. Not like go to it and go to trailer, but you know how Netflix plays the little trailer. We were trying to find something to watch one day, and you were like, that was your exact, you're like, and kept scrolling through. So I was like, cool, that actually looks good to me. No, so I'm going to watch it.
No, that was just for that moment. I just wasn't in the mood for it that moment. But either way, there's some pre-conversation. That's all we need is that pre. Is this something we're watching together conversation?
I said I started watching the first episode of 4 Seasons, and it's really good.
You already was in it.
You didn't say, hey, wait, I want to see
it was too late. You already locked in.
The first episode?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, betrayal.
You done made me rewatch whole shows that you done seen every episode of every season. If I watched one episode, us rewatching that together would not have been a problem.
I didn't. Have I complained about it? Did I say, oh, you watched 4 seasons without me?
Yes, you literally just said that.
No. I'm saying prior to today, have you heard me complain?
No, so why complain now?
I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm saying it wasn't that big of a deal, but you definitely violated Netflix code.
Argument.
No, you definitely violated Netflix code. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Highly recommend. It's a dope show. It's dealing with, so without giving away too much, it's several married couples who are friends, and I think each relationship deals with different aspects of what people go through in a marriage.
This when I was watching it, one thing that came to my mind was like, we've always said like we can't wait to have like couple friends that we go places and do stuff, but this show showed me the downside of having couple friends. Like when there are secrets, when there are betrayals, when there are things that you're privy to in your friend's relationship, and how do you handle those things? What if one of the couples break up, but you're friends with both? Like, how do you handle that? Those are things that I'm cool not having couple friends just because I don't want to deal with that stuff. Like if we have 4 friends and then one of the couples breaks up and you're friends with we're all friends and we're like forced to pick sides, or the guy wants to bring the new wife or girlfriend around, like that's gonna be awkward, and I'm still friends with the ex.
I think I learned a lot from my parents. They have this thing where they just refuse to pick sides.
Yeah, that doesn't always work. With your family, that's cool, but with friends, that don't always work.
And for me, if they're legitimately my friends, I'm not picking sides. That's it. It's one thing if like I have a friend and then there's his wife, that's one thing. But if we are like,
no, just like they are in this show.
Yeah, they're all legitimately friends, independent of one relationship to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not picking sides. Like I empathize. If somebody's wrong, I'm gonna tell them they're wrong, but I'm not gonna be like, we're not talking to Martin. Like I'm not doing that. I'm grown as a mug. Like
all of our vacations are now ruined. We used to all go together. Now we have to pick which one gets to go. Or even if we don't pick, they pick. But like, I'm like, well, we're sharing. She at home.
I ain't picking sides, but also like I'm heavy on no new friends. So like, don't bring your new chick.
You are not heavy on that. You like new friends.
I am heavy on no new friends. Name a new friend I have.
I don't know. We just don't have friends. I mean, that's
and
not
why
true.
do you
that's
think
not
that
true.
is?
We have friends. I don't want our friends to watch this and be like, oh, what? That's not what I meant.
We have friends, but what I'm saying is
we don't go out anywhere to make new friends.
Thank you. There's a reason, a rhyme reason. I'm team no new friends. I'm friendly.
I got a new friend this year, so I can't say anything.
There you go. See, you the friendly one.
No, that's not true.
I'm friendly, but
I've known her for 3 years. She just became my friend this year.
I'm friendly. I don't let people in easy past surface. So like I'll go out to eat with you, like we can kick it, I'll give you counsel, but like if I'm calling you about things I'm going through, that's a real small number. I don't
do that.
You don't call people about stuff you're going through?
No. I don't.
Yeah, we got to work on that, sis. Everybody needs somebody. I know you got Jesus, but like, you know, he uses these people down here.
I tell you.
Huh?
I tell you.
There you go. Then I'm somebody.
But I'm saying, I don't lean on my friends for that.
And you don't always tell me that. Sometimes I be pulling teeth. What? You sure you good? I'm fine.
I do be fine. I do.
Yeah. So 4 seasons is dope. So I said all that to say, watching and taking down 6 episodes of that has me ready for this episode. I feel like I've been in my marriage bag all day. I've been silently counseling these fake people all day in my mind.
So now you ready.
I'm finna get busy.
Okay, well, I have a quick one. Well, it should be quick because we just counseled somebody on this. So want to talk about it. And it's like intro. It eases us in to Ask R&B. So the first question that is posed is, hey, y'all, I need you to weigh in on this. Is it a red flag if they FaceTime you without warning? Like, why are you calling my face when you could have texted? Is a surprise FaceTime energy a sign of a deep connection or chaos?
What? This is how old I am, and I'm starting to feel it now as I'm approaching 40. I just don't see the significance of FaceTime versus like they're just different forms of communication. Like I don't see the layers to it. I guess other people see.
And so we just talked to friends who were having this kind of debate in their relationship. He really likes to FaceTime. She like, don't surprise FaceTime me. Like, call me. Let's schedule FaceTime. I'll give you a time, a date. where I'm fully prepared and then we can FaceTime. So when I saw this, I'm like, maybe that's something that a lot of people go through. When we first started dating, I didn't want to FaceTime you. To me, FaceTime feels more intimate than just talking on the phone.
What is it they're asking?
They're asking, well, they are specifically asking if it's what is
FaceTime like a violation of privacy or something?
Let me go back to it. Hold on. Sorry. I didn't know you were gonna ask me to repeat. Let me pull it up.
You don't know the question either.
Is surprise FaceTime energy a sign of deep connection or chaos? So yeah, basically, like, are you trying to like
a sign of chaos is so dramatic, yo.
I think we're just asking, like, is it cool to surprise FaceTime somebody? Like, just that's your method of calling them, is to FaceTime. For me, I prefer call me and then be like, hey, yo, you want to FaceTime? Sure. And then if you have an iPhone, you just hit the little FaceTime button. We're already on the phone. You've already checked to see if it's okay. Then you FaceTime me.
Yeah.
But my kids are the only people who like surprise FaceTime call me.
We had a very short, like, season of you not being comfortable with FaceTime.
Yeah, like I said, it just feels really intimate to me.
So do you think that that is a thing, like looking at me, seeing me in a certain space, like there might be a deeper level to this, because like when you first start dating or when you first start a relationship, you're still in that phase where you want to present.
Yeah, I want you to see me as perfect.
I want you to see me with my makeup on. I want you to see me when I shaved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to see me with my bonnet or whatever.
Yeah.
So lack of intimacy could be a reason why there's not comfort.
And like FaceTime is exposure. You get away with it because you have a beard. You're so lucky. But like, have you ever been on your phone and opened TikTok, but the last time you was in TikTok, you was on the camera, so it opens right up to the camera and it got you like doing one of these and your chin all scrunched up?
I haven't always had a beard, man. This is 2018.
I feel like that's what like FaceTime is. If I'm in a new scenario with you, like, I want to get all my best angles. And sometimes it's really hard to do that on FaceTime unless you're like holding the phone up like this all the time. So laying it down like this where it's comfortable, like you gonna see the little chin hairs I got. You might see the double chin. Like, that's only reserved for a certain level of relationship. And if we just kicking it right now, you don't get to just pop up and FaceTime me. I
say the secret: FaceTime is not a sign of chaos. It's a sign of comfort. I think if they're comfortable FaceTiming you off the bat, it's because they're comfortable with you seeing them and they desire to see you. And if they also don't care about your bonnet, or if they don't care about your angle, that's a sign of that you're developing something deeper. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to meet them at their level of comfort, because if you're not there, you're not there.
Okay, but let me ask you this. How many people in your life right now just FaceTime you besides your kids?
Well, I work at a school, so I'll get a lot of, like, for instance, if I have to work calls, I have parents. I have a parent who only FaceTimes, and it's so weird to me. She's like, what? It's
so weird to you, right? So
it's different because there's no relationship at all.
Right. But okay, so let's leave it only in the people that you have a relationship with. How many of them just call and cold FaceTime you?
My kids don't do that.
my kids
don't FaceTime.
It's odd.
It's not odd. I don't think it's odd.
Then why don't people do it? Why don't you FaceTime when you want to talk to your friends? Why don't you just FaceTime them?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, I think the reason why kids do it more is because they grew up with the technology. Us, it was a new thing. It's weird for us because it's not our normal. Our normal, we didn't even have cell phones. You had to be on a cord, walking around the house, twirling it with your finger. like we just came up in a different era. So looking at somebody while you're talking to them via the phone, there's just some degrees of separation.
Yeah, so I think you said it. It's weird.
No, I did not say that.
And I'm literally just said that.
I'm not saying it's weird. I'm saying it's age. I'm saying it's like ageism. Like, just because it's not my normal doesn't mean it's weird in general. Like, I think kids, like when I go downstairs and see my son on his game, he has 5 friends on FaceTime. Yeah,
but they're not FaceTime. They're just talking with the phone down. That's not the same thing.
Either way, no, they be their head, they be their little forehead, like, for whatever reason, like, because they could call, they could do a a audio FaceTime because you don't have to see each other.
Yeah.
But they be out there looking at each other's foreheads and eyebrows and whatnot.
It's weird. It was just like we don't necessarily have FaceTime. We didn't have FaceTime, excuse me, when we were growing up. But we had Nextels. And you just don't cold chirp nobody, just start screaming in the walkie-talkie.
Yes, they did.
You hit the chirp twice and wait for me to respond so you know it's okay. You don't know where I'm at. I could be on the toilet on my phone, like, and you just gonna FaceTime
Black
me.
people with Nextel were terrorizing restaurants, movie theaters, church services because of the cold chirp. I'm sitting here trying to watch Bad Boys 2 and here you go, but where you at? It's like, yo, we serious?
But now we've evolved because everybody just talks to each other on speakerphone. So I don't know nobody that don't talk on speakerphone.
It's true. It's true. I had one of my students. I got a hold of his mom. I was trying to give him the phone so I could talk to him, and he was like, "Hello." It wasn't on speakerphone. He's like, "Hello, I can't hear." I said, "Put it to your." He's like, "Huh?" Like, literally did not know how to hold the phone to us. I'm like, you've never used the phone off speakerphone.
Our baby girl does not know how to use the phone off speakerphone.
Insanity.
She only has an iPad. So first of all, she think when you're giving her the phone, it's automatically FaceTime. She be looking, well, I don't see her. It's okay, we on the phone. But if it ain't on speaker, she can't talk to you.
Y'all just got to get comfortable because FaceTime is just another way for people to see your face. If you saw them in person, they would see your face. And just because they're doing it now on a phone does not make it weird. It's your face. You're talking to somebody. I'm okay with
talking on FaceTime. I just don't like don't raw dog me on FaceTime. Don't just call me on FaceTime. Call me first and ask, is it okay for us to FaceTime?
All right. This is the silliest question I've heard.
It was a good intro question.
Good
no,
intro.
it wasn't. It was a good intro question.
We started off light.
Go ahead. Hit us with a go harder.
I think I'll start off. Oh, no, that's heavy. Okay. Jeez. All right. This is
queued up.
Oh, my God. Okay. This is a little bit of a paragraph. I got to do some reading, so excuse me. Advice, please. I've been married over 20 years to a man that's 8 years older than myself. I married him at the age of 20. Throughout our entire marriage, I've cheated, in parentheses, protectively. I've cheated on him multiple times with different men. One of the men I actually love and care a lot about, but the situation is complicated as well. The other two were just a thrill. They told me what I wanted to hear and made me feel beautiful and wanted. I love my husband. We have 4 children together, but our home is numb. We barely talk to each other. We don't have phone conversations unless it involves the kids. Our sex life is active, and that's the only time I feel any type of affection from him. He never compliments me. I lack his attention and speaks negative about me around the children whenever I go out because he assumes I'm cheating, but he doesn't have proof.
Now he does.
Oh my God. The plot thickens. I'm sorry for laughing. Overall, he's a good guy. He takes care of home and a good provider. I also work. I make good money. I come home and cook daily. I'm very OCD, so our home stays clean. I'm wifey material, but I just can't seem to be faithful.
What's the question?
Our home is boring and tiring, but I'm too comfortable to leave. I mean, why would I when I can do as I please outside and come home and be a wife and mom? It's easy for a woman to cheat because our routines don't change. But he tells me he knows I'm cheating. Do I be honest with him and let him know of my infidelity and how I'm lacking his attention, or what?
Well, first of all, next time, paraphrase. And I think anytime you have to ask a question like that, you already know the answer, especially if he's saying that he knows that you're cheating and you're actually cheating. It just behooves you to tell the truth. Like, if you're caught red-handed, why are we going to continue to lie? Like, this is your out. You're saying you're not fulfilled in the marriage. You're not satisfied. Like, it's cool. Y'all comfortable. Y'all basically roommates. This is your out. Like, tell the truth. This is a chance to make it better, like improve the relationship on even ground. Y'all starting with a fresh slate, or it's your chance to be like, you know what, you're right, and this is not working for me, and I need to roll. That seems like a no-brainer to me. Yes, tell the truth.
I think there's so much to unpack, but I'm going to start off with, number one, we have to redefine what is a good wife and a good husband. What is wife material and husband material? Because you cooking and cleaning well, and the amount of times you cook makes for living together good. That makes your living condition well. You don't got to worry about what you're going to eat. You don't have to worry about the house being a mess. Cool.
You're a good mom.
You're a great mom.
That's not a wife.
But in the same sentence, you said, I can't seem to be faithful. You said, I'm wifey material, but I can't seem to be faithful. Those don't go well together. And I think your shaky understanding of what a good wife means leads you to poor decision making. It's like, yeah, I do this, I do that. I just cheat a little. You're not holding the true weight of what you're doing. And we have to really, I think, and this is why I thank God for like this platform and other platforms that really speak this truth. We have to really understand what a marriage is and define what that is. Because to you, if it's just like a piece of paper that you sign, and if it's just a ceremony to show that you love somebody, then from the jump, your union is on a shaky foundation. Like your marriage is legitimately a institution of God in the church. And if that's not what that is for you, I don't, to me, I think it's going to be hard to make that work. Like, it's going to be rough sometimes. Your sex life is not always going to be popping. You're not always going to feel seen and appreciated for various reasons. And if there's not a bigger weight to why you're in your marriage other than them serving you, them making you feel good, them keeping you, satisfied sexually, if that's what that is, then it's fickle because those things don't happen consistently.
Yeah, and it's important to define it within the bounds of your relationship as well, because to somebody, those things may be top priority, but it's just always more than that. And to me, I think if you're married, unless you guys have agreed to an open relationship, then I think you need to do a deeper understanding or something like that. But it's an assumption that you're going to be faithful. So like,
yes,
you're not, if you're breaking the core, the foundation of like what it is to be married, it's me and you. It's just us.
It's us.
If you're breaking that, then are you really a good wife or a good husband? And it's up to your spouse to help you define that. Like, if he thinks that you're cheating on him, I'm pretty sure he doesn't think you're a good wife.
And how you complaining about him accusing you? How you complaining about him accusing you of cheating when you're cheating? He don't have no proof though.
This is John Legend. She is John Legend.
Oh, this toxic child. This is toxic right here.
Yeah, I think that one was a no-brainer. Like, do the right thing.
Do the right thing. And also, like, yeah, once again, if you're just looking for somebody to have sex with, to have an open relationship with, to like all the things you're doing, you can, in this day and age, you can do that outside of a marriage if you're not doing it God's way. Like, if you're not doing this as a part of your service to the Lord, and if the Lord is not a part of your relationship, then why go through the hullabaloo of marriage? If you're going to be out here cheating and all, like, why do that in the sanctity of a marriage? Like, just stay with the boyfriend. Like, just keep a boyfriend. Have an open relationship. In 2025, there are so many different ways for you to be in relationship. Now, very few of them are biblical. Very few of them leave room for Jesus. Very few of them like allow you to live a holy lifestyle in the middle of them. But if that's not a part of your context, then leave the holy sanctity of marriage out of it. Yeah, because y'all giving it a bad rap.
Y'all playing with God, and that's not cool.
Y'all playing with God. The whole idea of marriage right now is just such like it's a crapshoot. I work at school. All the kids, I don't want to get married. I just want to have some kids. Wow. All right. But if that's all you've ever seen, if you see more good mothers than you see good wives, if you see more, co-parents than you see successful husband and wives, then of course that's what you're going to aim to.
Yeah.
What's the point of marriage?
There are lots of points of marriage, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah. They just don't know it because
they don't know it. They just have not seen it.
Good. Okay, I have another. This one is interesting. If someone you're interested in had dealings with the same sex or identified as homosexual or bisexual in the past, is that cool, a red flag, or a deal breaker?
Read it one more time so I can process the thing.
If someone you're interested in had dealings with the same sex or identified as homosexual or bisexual in the past, is that cool, a red flag, or a deal breaker?
For me, or just in
general,
generalities?
they're looking for advice.
I think everybody is coming to a relationship with their past, right? And everybody has those things that they have to wrestle with. I would say if they're still identifying as gay, if they still identify with bisexual or any of the other letters in the acronym or whatever the case may be, then there's a deeper conversation.
It says in the past, not in their present. So if they've identified that in the past.
Oh, yeah. Then I would say no. But I also would say like.
So you say cool, red flag, or deal breaker? You said cool.
I think it's a red flag. And by red flag, it just means stop and have conversation. I don't mean red flag in the sense that it's like, it's automatically like, yo, done.
Yeah, because that would make it a deal breaker.
Yeah, red flag is just like, we need some conversation here. Mm-hmm. Like, what is your reasoning for turning away from that? Did you just wake up when they say, I think I like boys again, or I like girls again, whatever the case may be. But if it's something deeper behind that, like goes against my faith and I've been changed and whatever, like, okay, now we have some anchoring to that. But if you're just being led by what you feel like in a moment, then that's fickle. Like, if there's no weight to your change and it's just you woke up one day and was like, I think I'll go back to the opposite sex, that ain't weighty enough for me.
I think it's a red flag bordering on a deal breaker. And I agree that red flag in the sense that, like, we need to have some deeper conversation about what your motivation is, because there are people who, even though they don't identify as bisexual or homosexual, but they go back and forth. Like, oh, in this season of my life, I was with a man, I had kids, all of the things, but now my kids are a little bit older and I find myself being attracted to women. To me, like, what's stopping you from going back the opposite way? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a man that I'm dating and in the past you've been with women and then you had a season where you were like, yeah, I think I might be attracted to men. But now you're like, nah, I really didn't like that. Or, you know, it was cool for a season, but now I'm older and I want to be with a woman. It would always be in the back of my head, like, what if you want to go back? Like, what if you still start having those desires? And I don't think that would be something that I could easily just like flush out. Like, oh, he said he done with that, so that's it. So that's why I say it would almost be a deal breaker, because I'm not sure I could move forward. If I'm just dating you, I'm not sure I could move forward in the relationship. I would probably try. If you said the reason was, you know, you was young and you was trying things, but your heart was convicted, very similar to what you said. But I don't think that I could see myself long-term in a relationship with a man who had sexual relations with a man, because I think I would feel like there's a part of you that has been satisfied sexually that I will never be able to satisfy. Like, there's just some things, unless I get apparatuses, and that's not even like the same thing, that I could satisfy you in that way. Like, I can't do it.
Can we acknowledge the double standard that exists here? Like, there's definitely it's definitely easier for a woman to transition between same-sex attraction and opposite sex attraction than it is for a man. I think society, at least here in the States in America, it's widely more accepted. You know, it's downright seen more as more sexy than anything.
I remember you had asked me, is it true that all women, I don't even know if you asked me if it was true, but you made the statement that like all women have had a lesbian experience.
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
I said all women are 30% gay.
Yeah, that's just not true.
It's not true. It's a facetious statement, but I just mean that you guys can operate in ways that if a man did it, be like, oh, that's gay. Like you can be at a party, your girl bend over, start dancing on you, slap her butt and go, whoa! Like, and everybody just like, party, yeah, that's just your friend. You've crossed no lines, but you can touch her in a way. Now flip that, and you at a party, and your boys you bend over, you start slapping. It's like, yo, fam, you're gay. Like that's what I mean by 30%. It just means that y'all can do gay stuff without being gay.
Well, it's not gay stuff. What is gay stuff? Is like being a homosexual is your attraction. It's not like there's not gay stuff.
Well, even this, like, I know women who have been straight their whole life, had kids, then got a low haircut and an eyebrow piercing for 3 years while they dated a woman, then just said, you know what, back to men. Nothing's affected. They don't even, it's like not even a recognized chapter. Guys can't do that.
It's true. There are double standards that work both ways. But
I've never heard of let me say, I rarely hear about the down low woman. I rarely hear about the down low woman. Every time I hear the term down low, it is 95% associated with man.
There are definitely down low women.
I'm not saying there aren't. I'm saying here, I don't hear about that.
Yeah.
Because most women don't have to necessarily hide that, like, or be that, it's not that big of a deal. A guy do that, his life is blown up.
Yeah.
He got to rethink that, get out into the streets. His whole life has changed, yo.
I agree that I wouldn't hold your past against you regardless of what that is. If you had something that you struggle with and you overcame it and you've changed and made a change in your life and made a decision, I just don't think that me personally, I could move forward in a relationship with that because I'd always be curious if those desires will come back.
Can I say something and get in trouble?
You're going to get us canceled?
No, just myself. I'm going to have some people in the comments mad at me if you make it a clip. But hey, you know what I'm saying? We can use the engagement.
Don't say things just for engagement. Just something you really mean.
No, this is legitimately how I feel. I just feel like it's more against a man's nature, which is why it's harder to digest. Like you see two women kissing, it is less offensive than when you see two men making out. I'll never forget. I was in DC. I had to been like maybe in the third grade. We're walking downtown with my cousins and my mom and my auntie. And I see these dudes on a blanket having a picnic, making out. And I remember saying, Mommy, that man's kissing. She's like, shh, boy, hush. She like kind of dragged me, but it's burned in my brain because it was such a shock.
Yeah. That was like in the 90s too. Yeah.
But I'm a kid. I don't know anything about the societal norms.
Or I'm just saying, like in the 90s, it just wasn't as, it was taboo. It wasn't as, now in places like Washington and maybe like Seattle where, it was a little bit more progressive. But
definitely, the society was what it was, but it was shocking to me. I just think it's more against a man's nature, at least in how like most people perceive men. To see him feminine. Effeminate? Is that a word? It is. I'm willing to put money on that. I think it is.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's why that's so like harder to digest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question, listener.
Oh, it's my turn, ain't it?
It is.
I should have had one working the queue up. My husband and I are 2 years into our marriage, and he is telling me that he doesn't think he is a believer. I am a Christian, and I thought he was too. At least that's what he told me. But now he has switched up and decided he would like to know more about the devil. But he isn't all the way against God. Please help. I don't know what to do. I am heartbroken. I have been praying that this is removed from his spirit. This is not what I expected out of a partner that I love. I do not agree with this at all. ...
So was a believer before, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She said at least that's what he said.
Yeah. I mean, we've had the conversation before about different religions or beliefs being in relationship with together, and we say, it's hard to practice a different religion, and because a lot of who we are is tied up in that, and so how we live and act out our daily lives, if we're doing that in conflict with each other, obviously things are going to come up that will be serious roadblocks for us trying to build a relationship. But now in this scenario, they're married. So I think that I hope that they have some type of spiritual covering where they can go and talk and seek counsel of a pastor or somebody that can help them through this. I think praying is a great answer to this, because it just may be a phase. It may be a spiritual attack. It could be lots of things. I think most Christians go through a questioning phase where it's like, do I really believe what I say? And their faith is developed in that. Mine was before I actually joined the church, but I grew up knowing who God was and what he meant. And I had my questioning phase before I actually joined. Like, do I really believe this? Is this really something that I think exists? And, so if he's having that phase, for me, it made my faith deeper because God proved himself to me. So I think if he's having questions about what he truly believes, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The part that gave me a little bit of cause when he said he's more curious about the devil, because questioning God don't necessarily push you to the devil. And I believe that if you believe in God, you believe in the devil. So like the word talks about it too much for us to pretend that he's not a real thing. But like, what do you mean you want to know more about the devil? That like, do you want to get into Satanism? Is that like, I have questions, because that would cause a red flag for me. That would cause me to be like, I'm not going to couple myself with someone who's going down that path.
You're already coupled.
Yeah, we're going to have to get uncoupled.
So here's what I say. That does hold more weight, because in the book of James it says resist the devil and he'll flee. So it's not even like being curious and wanting to know more, almost like on the tip of like, I want to see what that has to offer, is a scary concept. And when you look at the Bible, I think it's in Amos where it says, how could two walk together unless they agree? Those things will make you be like, dang, how can this work? But I know, and we talked about this, we have family members who have walked through this, and we've seen the fruit of it. And you were talking, I pulled it up. 1 Corinthians 7, 12, 14. If any brother has a wife who is not a believer, and she is willing to live with him, he must not divorce her, for the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife. Okay, now, like, don't misconstrue that. That doesn't mean that like your faith, your salvation is by proxy. Like, it doesn't mean like because you say automatically he got a green ticket to do whatever he wants. No, like he still has like to accept Christ on his own. But what that does speak to is that your faith holds weight, especially when you're yoked to someone spiritually, which you already are because you're married. You are one flesh. And I have seen the fruits. Russell Davis III, my grandfather, was a heathen, a volatile, angry man. I've heard stories upon stories of how he will blow up, cuss people out. He was just a hard as nails man who just was like, man, I'm not doing all that Jesus stuff. That like, it don't take all of that. Like, he questioned a lot of it. But when I say my grandmother was steadfast, like my whole, the three generations under her have all been a byproduct of her faithfulness. She used to write me letters about Jesus and my calling and not giving them on purpose and calling me a man of God. Like, she was a faithful woman and raised her children and her grandchildren in the ways of the Lord. And that faithfulness, even though it happened in his old age, he might have been in his 80s when he got saved. But I remember my dad was like, man, my dad got saved. It was news. We were blown away. And we've got a similar story, right? Like
my grandpa, up until he was on his deathbed, so it was a little different in the fact that my grandma was faithful. She didn't badger him about coming to church, getting saved. And he talked. He was like, man, when I die, don't put me up in no church. Like he was like not about it at all. But on his deathbed, probably about a week or so before he actually passed away, he was just in the bed. And I think he came to the realization of like, I don't want to go to hell. Like I know that I don't have long here on this earth. And where I go after this, it now matters to me. And he was like, he told my cousin, call your pastor to come over here. The pastor came, sat at his bedside. He had like a hospice bed in the living room and went through the prayer of salvation with him. And I have 100% confidence that he was forgiven and is in heaven.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your presence, your faithfulness holds spiritual weight. I am a byproduct of that. I was not living the life of a man of God. This woman came to me at the height of my heathenism.
You like that word, huh?
Yeah, I do. It's giving me joy right now. But she didn't beat me up over it. When we were talking on the phone before we actually started dating, we were just kind of like seeing what it was going to be. When I would let a cuss word slip, she didn't badger me. She made me feel comfortable. But she kept reminding me of who I was in God. Like she did not let me forget that. She would say, why are you running? Just so softly, so lovingly, so gently. And it made me run back to God. And she didn't have to beat me over the head with a Bible. She just lived in front of me and it spoke volumes. So I'm saying all that to say, God can use you to do a work in his life. Mm-hmm. Now, I do agree with something you said, babe, and this is where you got to like set some spiritual boundaries, right? Like if he's delving into mockery of Jesus, if he's delving in dark practices, witchcraft, you have to set some hard boundaries. And it's not so much about giving up on your marriages as much as it is protecting your atmosphere. And if you got children, you got kids, and you don't want them to be subject to demonic principles, you might have to dip out. And I'm just saying that in all seriousness. There is a short leash here, right? Yeah. But you need counsel. You said that too as well, babe. Double down on it. You need spiritual covering. You need counsel because he might have some questions that you can't answer. And like she said as well, it's natural as a believer for you to like, I think every believer needs to deconstruct and say, okay, why do I believe that? I'll never forget. Noah had me in a chokehold. Mm-hmm. Like, what you mean every animal marched in 2 by 2? That geographically, how does that make sense? Did they come from Antarctica? Did the penguins come? Mm-hmm. Was it polar bears on the boat with seals? Did they just not eat them? What is happening? Did mosquitoes come? Because they had to have somewhere to, like, there were so many questions. Mm-hmm. But you have to like go through the rigmarole of like, okay, why do I believe what I believe and make it make sense to you? Mm-hmm. And I think that's healthy. But it's different when it's like, okay, I want to know why I understand this versus I want to understand the opposition and I want to get closer to the dark, the adversary.
I'm bringing this up because I'm going through the Bible in a year with the Bible department and Pastor Manny Arango. And recently, I think he was teaching on the Israelites. And so they went over through the wall of Jericho. It came down. They were allowed to go and plunder the land, but God told them, don't take the idol images, don't take, the things that were devoted to other gods. Yeah. And one man in the camp, Achan,
just went
and took an idol image and hid it in the camp. So then when the Israelites went up to take more land, they were defeated. And they were like, yo, God, like you told us, you gave us this land, told us we was going to defeat everybody. We was going to slay them and plunder and da-da-da. And he was like, I told you. And he said, the Israelites sinned against God.
He
They
didn't
say Achan.
He said the
sinned against God.
Israelites.
All of them were held accountable for one man's actions.
Wow.
And to me, if I'm coupled with you, everything that you do is a reflection of me too. God is going to see what we doing. Like, oh, you just going to let that fly? Like he just, like, no, where's your diligence in your home? So I think that if he's delving in practices that go against what God says,
you got to get on.
You even if you ain't fully divorced, like man, I just need you to figure that out. I'm not going to be in the house with you. I'm not going to be sharing money with you, because all of that, our children, all of that is affected by what you decide to do. Yeah, point. Absolutely.
Yeah. Stay anchored. You should be walking more upright than you ever have. You should be closer to Christ than you ever have. And heavy on the counsel, because you can't bear his salvation on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. I know you love him and I know you care, which is the reason why you wrote that. But you weren't meant to carry that. You know what I mean? So he needs covering. He needs pastoral care. So, praying for you.
All right. That was a good one, man. I feel when it's real deep stuff like that, I feel just I don't know.
Lighten it up, baby. Lighten it up.
Move it on to the next one. Okay, now.
We just went from Satanism.
Now that we solved your problem, we're going to go into the next one. That's deep. So
that's the chaos of Ask IMB.
Yeah. So you said lighten it up. Jeez, I don't really have it anywhere.
Yeah, just go on to your next one.
Okay, this one is, I recently started talking to someone and tried to respect bro code because I seen one of my buddies in her comments. Once we started talking, it was brought to my attention that my friend was bashing me to her and the situation was bigger than he made it seem. My question is, should I have not bothered to talk to her at all, or is it even worth me having a conversation with my friend?
Can you break down the scenario? I'm a little confused.
So the scenario is he was interested in a girl, kind of started talking to her, but then saw his friend in the comments. But he said, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know her like that, blah, blah, blah. But
he went to the homie first.
Well, I don't know that.
Okay.
It was brought to my attention that Buddy was bashing me to her. Yeah, so it sounds like he knew to go back and say something to her.
Okay.
So he's talking junk about her, about the guy. And so my question is, should I have not bothered to talk to her at all since I seen that my friend was in her comments? And is it worth me having a conversation with my friend?
I don't know.
If it's your friend, it's always worth having a conversation. If that's somebody that you truly believe is your friend.
Is it for the girl, or is it just to clear up, yo, you was talking about me?
Yeah, is it beef? Is it an issue? What's up? I heard you were saying something. If it's somebody that you consider a real friend, yes, you have to have a conversation. I also think that we don't own people, and I get bro code and girl code, and that's something that you set for yourself. That's your own moral. Okay, for me, my peace of mind, I just don't want to do that. But there's no rules in life that say you can't date someone that your friend.
This is bro code.
No, it's not. They don't own people. People are allowed to move on with their lives and date who they want to date. Now you can decide for yourself.
You can do what you want to do, but don't act like there's no moral compass here.
It's not.
So you're telling me
it's not
if we divorce, I can be with Shayla.
You could. I mean, does it stop me from being mad?
But why would you be mad?
I would be mad just because it's my friend. But listen, I don't own you and I don't own her, and I don't control who you get to fall in love with.
You can't do anything about it, but there's still a moral compass. And what I mean by that is yes, technically I'm free. I can do what I want to do, but that doesn't mean that there isn't inherently some character stuff here. I can go right now, purchase a gun, go to the bank and rob it.
But is it
I'm free, but that doesn't make it right.
Is that your character? Because
to rob a bank?
No, I'm talking about to date someone.
If I am with someone and I don't respect the sensitivity of relationship, if you have a best friend,
so
you don't own your best friend. I don't.
So you used to date my best friend, so we shouldn't be together.
Are you talking about in the 6th grade?
I'm just saying, if it's a moral compass, if it's a code,
don't do that. Okay, but we have to like respect the actual relationship. Like I've never kissed her. I've never even held her hand. I talked to her on the phone and breathed in the 6th grade. Like, let's be real. If we were talking about in high school, now then that's different. Then that's different because there's like degrees of relationship.
So you're saying if this person who's writing in saw his friend in the comments, he should not have, because that's what he's asking.
I was waiting for you to get done cooking. Like, number one, if you're going to have a conversation with your friend, also include, because I don't know what you saw in the comment section, but if what you saw hinted at there might be some romantic involvement and you decided to pursue, then you also got some stuff you need to talk about, because bro code would also say, like, that's a violation. And the same reason why you would be mad if I started talking to your best friend after we divorced is because there's some degree of understanding of like, yo, that's kind of foul.
Yeah, like I said, I acknowledge that there is between people a bro code or a girl code, but that's something that you've decided for yourself you're going to stick to. But there's no law against dating.
There's no state
someone's
law.
ex. There's no like.
There's an internal.
It's internal. It's an individual thing.
Yeah, we all have this like internal thing that like guides us to right and wrong.
But I think that this happens all over the world, right?
Yeah.
There are people who don't believe that it's wrong, and I don't think it's my job or your job to tell that person that they're wrong. If inside of themselves they don't see that as wrong. For me, I would never do that.
There is a definitive right and a definitive wrong, regardless of like
but
people's belief
not
system.
it.
But hold on, let me say something. The reason why we even have to have this dialogue is because there is something in you that will be like, yo, that's kind of messed up. Like, I get that there's no actual law. There's no Bible. Thou shalt not date your friend's ex.
No.
Like,
I'm just saying that thing that you're talking about regarding this particular situation, that's not in everybody. And so,
but hold on, that doesn't make it, that doesn't remove what it is. Like, just if someone is like, if there's a child who at 6 years old doesn't see anything wrong with abusing the child, the home pet, like he's burning them with matches, the child has no understanding that's wrong. It doesn't feel wrong, right? It's a pet. He's burning them with lighters. No one would be like,
well, the same thing.
No, you're saying that just because they don't feel like it's wrong means that if they're not guided by this right or wrong, then it makes it not a reality.
I'm saying that there are some things that are personal convictions. I believe that this one is not a universal right and wrong. I believe that this is a personal conviction to say that I won't date someone that my friend has dated. That is a personal conviction. That's not, this is absolutely right and this is absolutely wrong. That's not black and white to say that you won't date somebody that your friend, because then it's like, well, how long did they date? What season of their life did they date? If there's that much that's up for debate, then you can't say that it's a black and white, right or wrong, because there's too many nuances that go into it.
I'm not saying black and white, but I am saying that it warrants some discussion. That's my take on it. I understand you feel differently, and I can live with that. I can agree to disagree.
I don't feel differently, actually. I wouldn't do it.
No, we feel differently on the, like, I could care less what someone's personal, like the thing that guides somebody else. I could care less what's universal. I think there's like character stuff. And when we talk about relationship, depending on the degree of relationship, like that means something. If we break up and if I'm with your like best friend or your sister, most people would look at it and say, yo, that's weird. And I think the reason why most people would is because most people just have like an internal thing that would be like, yo, nah, that's kind of foul. Without a law, without a scripture, you can just feel what's right and what's wrong. And even though there's some people who might not be guided by that, I don't think it changes what it is.
I think that if in this scenario, what you saw in the comments is important, if you obviously you believe in bro code because you mentioned it. So if something in the comments was like, I love you, I miss you, we should hook back up again, hey, you ain't call me when you got home last night.
In the comment sections is crazy.
Something like that, yeah, that warrants a conversation. But if you just that you look cute, or I don't
Hard
know what guys
eyes
say or something like that, that shows that there may have been an interest there. To me, that doesn't necessarily warrant an initial conversation before you start talking to someone. Now, I also believe that there's an onus on the opposite person. For you, it's the woman in this situation. Like, if she knows that you two are friends and she's seriously dated one of your friends, then I believe that she should tell you that. That's not anything that you should keep from someone. And then you have to make a decision on whether or not you want to pursue that. So I don't think that initially, just by seeing a comment, you should have a conversation with your friend like, hey, is it okay to have permission to date this person? And I also feel like if you think your friend has been talking bad about you behind your back, then you should talk to him.
Facts. I agree. Next one. We got room for one more. We almost about an hour.
Okay.
53 minutes. You want one more?
Sure.
10 years married, 14 years.
Make it a good one.
Oh, it's my only last one. I don't know if it's good or not.
Oh.
10 years married, 14 years together. 2 kids, 1 dog, 1 fish. There is no infidelity, physical abuse, or a big reason for divorce. We just aren't aligned. I don't feel loved, cared for, or desired. We don't share many interests. He lied a lot in the beginning, so I've learned that we never really had many of the same interests. But that's okay. I still love and care for him. We are greatest friends. We can entertain, laugh, and talk about nothing more. I've expressed desire to date to him, try therapy, find a spark, or even just communicate to see what's wrong, but nothing happens. He will try for 2 days, then back to nothing. I've tried to romance him and still nothing. He is a great guy, but I don't feel like he's the guy for me anymore. This isn't about sex. I've tried to express this to friends and got a negative response about opening our marriage, and that's not what I'm looking for right now. We have sex, but there's no romantic connection. We just get each other there and done. Somebody help me. I don't want to leave when I can't quite pinpoint what's wrong, or if I'm being selfish because I want more, and I don't want to continue to stay when I don't feel ... married.
I think this is the same scenario as the first one, except for she's not cheating.
Yes.
I have the exact same advice.
Yo, before you cook,
I'm not even gonna cook. I don't have nothing to say.
I just want to say, y'all, there are so many people who go through this. And and I'm kind of glad that we kind of have 2 scenarios from 2 different people who are like dealing with issues around the same thing. Not only that, we've been in this space now for years, and whether it's in our DMs, whether it's people we know, this thing right here is something a lot of married people deal with. So you are not alone. You are not alone. And because it's something that so many people deal with to the degree that they do, it should tell you that it's not a deal breaker. Like, I think people get to this point and they just say, yo, like, I got to dip. And I think because people don't understand what marriage is, when it stops being that to them, they're like, their first instinct is to like go.
Yeah, marriage requires intentionality. If being married has taught me nothing else, it's taught me a lot. But if it has taught me nothing else, it's taught me that intentionality is required every single day. Like, I have to be intentional about the way I love and care for this person, because if not, we just become friends or roommates. And marriage is so much deeper than that. If I just want to live with somebody and function, pay bills together, and go on or eat dinner together or watch TV together, like, that's a roommate.
And you might have some seasons where it might start feeling like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even when you feel like, oh, I don't have the fight, like, you have to will it. Like, every day you don't feel like going to work, but you know your bills got to be paid, so you still go to work.
But why does that apply to a marriage?
I think it's intentionality. It is doing the stuff that you don't want to do, even when you don't want to do it.
But why does it matter?
It matters because that is how your relationship stays together. That is how you show your commitment and your love to someone, by being intentional with them. You can't just assume that because you're married, you no longer have to work. And I think that's what happens, and how we fall into these scenarios of we just live together. Like, he's a great guy, but like there's no spark there because at some point we stop making effort. We just accept it like, okay, we're married now. This is what life is. And I don't have to do those things that I did when we were dating to keep them interested, to keep them coming back because I got them now. But no, every day it takes intentionality. Every day you have to put effort into your relationship, even on the days when you don't feel like it, even in the seasons, even if it's years where it's just like, I don't really have it.
But like, why?
You got to
like,
give that.
What if they stop doing those things? Like, why can't I? Like, why do I have to have it with them? Why can't I just go get it with somebody else?
Because you made the decision to be married to them. I mean, nothing's keeping you in the scenario. We have divorce. You can get divorced. If that's what you want to do, you can get divorced. Nothing's keeping you there beside your will and your decision to want to be there. And if your decision changes, you have free reign to go and do that. You just have to know what come with it.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the point I made with the last situation. Your marriage is so much bigger than you and what you want in this season. Like, the reason why you're there so that y'all can sharpen each other and make each other better, which is why you see that stuff in them that no one else sees. Like, the thing that irks you, that irritates you, that might be minute to somebody else, but to you it's so vexing because you are called to sharpen areas of them, right? So for somebody else, you know, on the outside looking in, they'll be like, yo, that's petty. Like, why do you care? It's like, no, like, he just doesn't even care anymore. He used to like want to, there's a show on Netflix. I keep going back to Netflix because they become with some heat. Forever. It's a show on Forever. It's these teenage kids, but like, I know what you're thinking, but it gets really good. And, you know,
trust me, probably everybody that is watching this or listening to this podcast has heard about Forever now. It's like the new hot thing
for
on
real?
the internet. Yes.
Yo, Forever is lit. But there's this part, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, cut it off right now. But there's this part where she gets so vexed because he applied to this school, his mom's alma mater, got in, and he's about to go because his mom's proud. She wants him to go. Everybody's excited. They've got his life planned out, but his passions are somewhere else. And she is literally so irritated. She's like you don't want to go.
And she was right.
Yeah. But that just speaks to like what marriage is like really designed for. It's to glorify God, and he gets the glory when we help sharpen each other. Whether your husband is saying he don't know about God no more and he's curious about Satan, you are there to be the light for him and to like to pray for him and to like set the anchor in the things of God, to like to like let God use you to sharpen that man. Or whether it's your marriage, it's like it feels like we just roommates right now. Like, you got to refine each other.
We just give up on each other too easily nowadays, and I'm not even the judge of what your too easy is, because there are some people who have been in a season of hardship in their marriage for years, and now it's like I just don't see it getting better, so I'm just gonna give up. But like, marriage is just different, and I didn't go into either of my marriages with a I'm gonna quit spirit. Like, if you not beating me or doing something to harm me or my children, I feel like we can get through this. We can work through it. It might be hard, it might be difficult, it might try me in every way that I've never been tried, but like, it's just a different beast. It's a different beast. You're not dating anymore. You're not like, the person that you marry is not disposable. And I just feel like as soon as something doesn't go our way, it's just like, oh, maybe we should just get divorced. And it's so easy to just give up on somebody. And I just feel like if you don't think that you are in it for the long haul, then just don't get married.
Yeah.
Because it's going to change. It's not always going to be sunshine and roses. It's like no relationship. Even if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, the only difference is it's easier to walk away.
Absolutely. There was this mentorship program I was in, and there was this term that he would use all the time. And I was looking at some of my old videos. For those of y'all don't know, I do like devotionals or like relationship stuff or emotional health content on my social media. And there was this term that I don't even think I realized I was regurgitating, but I said it all the time. Behaviors that don't serve me anymore, relationships that don't serve me anymore. Like this whole idea that things have to be positioned of service to me. And that is such against the nature of what marriage is. Number one, we are here to serve one another. Does that mean you're supposed to be in a marriage not getting anything from it? No. That means you should be so satisfied because both of you guys have this like understanding that we are here to be of service to one another. But if my whole motive, if my whole push for why I want to be in this marriage is because of what I think you're supposed to give me, what you're supposed to serve me, and none of what I'm supposed to serve you, then it's already doomed. Like, we're supposed to be here serving one another. Like, men, love your wives like Christ loved the church. What did he do? He served everywhere he went. He didn't do nothing for service of himself. He did everything in service to other people. And because of that, everywhere he went was better. Because he walked into rooms like a servant, everything in the room was made better. He went to a wedding. They ran out of wine. Now we got wine because I'm there as a servant. He sees someone who's lame, crippled, paralyzed, demon possessed. When he walks away, they're better because he's a servant. We don't got enough food. 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. Everybody's about to be at the buffet because I'm here to serve. And when that is your heart's posture, as a husband, as a wife, I promise you, if both of you guys are coming to the table, like regardless of what I'm feeling on this day, regardless of what's going on this season, I'm walking in this house and I'm going to be a servant. Number one, to God. I'm going to honor them because I honor God. And I'm going to honor this woman that I chose to choose, or I'm going to honor this man who asked me to be his wife. And if both of y'all, if that's your heart's posture, I do not care what's going on. The devil got to turn y'all loose. On my mama, on Brenda Davis, he going to have to turn y'all loose.
Mama name
I put it on her. The devil got to turn y'all loose. If you both are coming to this scenario as servants, there is nothing that can stop y'all. I promise you. So I'm glad we got the scenarios that we got because I think that's so necessary and it so needs to be said over and over and over again.
Amen. I still have a few more, but I'm going to save them for the live. So I need y'all to meet us on Thursday.
We really going to do it too.
Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube, and we will finish out Ask R&B. And you can submit more questions between now and Thursday. If there's something that you want us to talk about, you like, oh, this sparked a question that I was waiting to be answered, then you can do that.
We're really gonna do it too. We weren't there last Thursday, but listen, y'all family. This is a family. It's 5 of these kids. We be having stuff going on, so y'all got to give us some grace. But I'm saying it now, unless there's an emergency. Thursday, we will be here live. Facebook is emphasis on that's where you want to join us. We will be there on YouTube, but if you like to engage, if you like comments, if you want to see what other people are commenting, Facebook is a place to be for sure.
All right, so we will see you guys on Thursday. Submit those questions, and we will be back. I always remember that we love love.
Y'all should love love too.
Peace.
Peace.